3 ways to become a millionaire. What is going on, guys? That is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Obviously, in this world, money is very important for a lot of reasons. And if you're watching this and you just watched this intro and you're saying, well, money's not that important to me, I don't need money, then I guarantee you money can get you something that you really want in life, okay? And for a lot of people, money's actually one of the biggest stressors out there, as I'm sure some of you watching this video can attest to. 60% of people actually say that money is their biggest stressor in their life. 36% of people say that money is the reason that they get divorced, okay? So say although you say money is not important or you don't need money, chances are money is important for everyone either directly or indirectly. And when you guys get to that $1 million mark, that 7-figure net worth, it's a big milestone for a lot of different reasons. And I really hope this video provides a lot of value to all you guys watching this video so you can achieve that net worth. Really hope you guys enjoy this video. If you don't mind smashing that thumbs up button, that really helps me out in a huge way, and it really helps the YouTube channel grow, and it really helps me get these videos out to more people. And I appreciate every single one of you that consistently watch these videos and hit that like button. And also, as you know, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more personal finance, stock market news, stock market related videos, and everything else in between. So before we get into any of these pathways that you can take to become a millionaire, I want to change your mindset. And I'm sure someone watching this video, maybe it's you, and there's nothing wrong with it if it is you, you know someone that has money and you're jealous of them. And there's really nothing wrong with that. I know people that have money and I'm jealous of them, maybe not personally, but for example, I'm jealous of Warren Buffett's net worth, of how he's worth 80 billion or 100 billion or whatever it is. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but I'm definitely jealous of him and his success that he's had. There's people I watch on YouTube, I'm jealous of them and their success that they had. But once you realize you are jealous and you're saying things to yourself like, I wish I had more money, I wish my net worth was higher, are you just going to sit there and change nothing? Or are you going to change habits and change things you're doing so that way you can increase your net worth? Ask yourself how you can increase your net worth. What changes can you make in your life to increase your net worth? Maybe it's something we're going to talk about in this video. There's a lot of different things that you can do. But if you don't change your mindset about how you can increase your net worth, how you can get out of debt, how you can just have more income, you're honestly already behind, guys. And it's going to be really hard for you to get to this $1 million mark if you can't take that first step of changing. Because keep in mind, less than 1% of the population are millionaires. Less than 1%. So for the record, about 1% of athletes will actually take their talents to the professional level one day. So if we want to put ourselves in the similar category as professional athletes, we have to find out what paths we can take, how we can better ourselves, and what we can do to achieve the level of success we want to achieve. Because keep in mind, only about 20% of millionaires on the planet have inherited their wealth. Maybe that's through trust funds or something weird happened. There's a lot of different ways that could have happened, but only 20% inherit their wealth. That means 80% of millionaires are self-made and they created their wealth on their own. So let me ask you something. You, watching this video right now, what is the reason that you cannot create your own wealth as well? What is the reason? So what we're going to do in this video, as I talked about earlier, which we're going to get into in just a second, we're going to talk about 3 pathways to become a millionaire. The first one's going to be something that I think everyone can do, but I don't think everyone's going to have a desire to do. The second one's going to be something absolutely everyone can do. Then the last one's going to be something everyone, in my personal opinion, should do. But as always, I'm no sort of financial advisor. As you guys know, I just sit in my living room and talk to myself with the camera with no one else around, just a couple of lights coming at me. So make sure you're doing your own research and your own due diligence, regardless of what I say in this video. So now let's get into the meat of this video. The first pathway that you can take to become a millionaire is starting your own business. 47% of millionaires actually own their own business, okay? 47%. So that means almost half of these millionaires got there by using this method. And why? Why do half of billionaires start their own business? Like, what is that reason? What is the common thread here? Well, I've talked about this on the channel before, but when you go to work, whatever your job is, whether you're a waitress, a health inspector, a truck driver, whatever your job is, your income is capped. And what do I mean by that? It means you can only make so much money during that time you are working. So for example, let's say you're a health inspector, you have a $60K a year salary, right? And you decide you're going to go to every single restaurant in Rhode Island just one night after work. You're going to make sure they're following virus protocols. You're going to make sure everyone's doing the right thing. All regulations are followed, the whole 9 yards. And you go and do that. Granted, I don't know how long that would take you. I don't know if that's feasible. But for the sake of the argument, let's just say you manage to go to every single restaurant in Rhode Island. You make sure they're following protocols. You talk to all the managers. By some miracle, you get done with it. and then you go into work the next day, you're talking to your coworkers at the office or on a Zoom call, because I guess you don't go to the office really too much these days anymore. So you're talking to your coworkers, you're bragging to them, you're like, I went to all these restaurants, I made sure everyone was following regulations, I was making sure they were doing everything, and then your boss comes by and he overhears the conversation. You go and tell him the same exact thing. You say, I went from Newport to Pawtucket, I stopped in Warwick, I went through East Greenwich, you went through all these towns. This is obviously Rhode Island we're saying here, so if you're not from Rhode Island and you're watching this, that might be, those towns might not be familiar with you. But let's say you go through all these different towns, all these different restaurants, and your boss just looks at you and he's like, all right, Josh, thanks. Gives you a pat on the back and he walks away. You're not gonna see any pay increase. You're not gonna see any additional compensation. He might just give you a pat on the back. He might say great job. He might not say anything to you, and he's just gonna tell you to get back to work. But say you own your own business, right? And maybe you just like to take photos, and you find someone, one of your friends has a senior in high school, and you wanna take their senior pictures, right? So you go and take their pictures, and then you don't charge them anything for it. You're like, you know what, whatever, don't worry about it. We're friends, I don't care. Next year comes around, a couple more people ask you. They find out from that your friend, where'd your son get his senior pictures taken? Oh, this guy Josh did it, my friend Josh did it. So now you have 10 people coming to you and you're like, well, I'm not gonna take 10 people's senior pictures for nothing. So you start charging them $100. So you make money doing that. Then the next year, 20 more people come and ask you. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna charge $200. The following year, you have 30 people come and ask you. So now you can charge them $300. The point is, when you own your own business, you don't have a cap to your set of income. You decide how much your time is valued. So if you want to charge people $400, you can charge them $400. If you want to charge them $10, you can charge them $10. It all depends on you, your clientele, and how much you think you can make and how much the product or the value of whatever you're bringing is worth. And keep in mind, when you start your own business, you don't have to start the next Amazon or the next Apple or the next Nike by any means. There's tons of small businesses out there. There's tons of people running blogs, YouTube channels, affiliate marketing page. They're making well over 10 grand a month. So there's no reason you can't either. There's tons and tons of small businesses that you can start with very little risk. Actually, I probably wouldn't recommend trying to start the next Apple or Amazon, because first, that's just like once in a lifetime opportunity. That's very rare that someone hits that and is very successful. Plus, a lot of startups actually fail, so you're probably better off starting a smaller business, because say you start a YouTube channel, for example, all you have to do is buy a camera, some lights, maybe a mic. You really don't have to spend that much money on it. So if you fail, you really don't lose that much money. You might just lose, I don't know, a few $100s. But if you try to start the next Nike, maybe you got to raise money from friends, you have to get all this money for inventory, you have to hire employees, and it might just be a lot harder to be successful. And if you do fail, because I think it's 1 in 25 startups are successful, I'm pretty sure that's the number. And if you fail, if you're one of those 24, you might have a big mess you have to clean up. So a smaller business is probably a better bet, especially when you're first starting out. The second pathway you can take to become a millionaire, and this is kind of like that middle ground we were talking about earlier, it's just getting a job where you can consistently move up. Obviously, there's a lot of jobs out there where your income is capped, especially if you're in a union. If you're in a union, I know some people like unions for a lot of different reasons, but the thing is, you're gonna get very scheduled, structured raises, and you can't diversify yourself, you can't separate yourself from the pack to see great promotions and pay increases. But say you go to school and you get your MBA, right? And then you find a job at a different corporation, and then you start off as, say, a CPA, then you become a CFO, then you become the president, and you work your way up through the grapevines in order to get a better position. But the thing is, you have to put yourself in the right position in order to do this. It can't just be any job. You have to make sure you're putting yourself in the right positions. And the important thing you want to do in each one of these roles as you work your way up the ladder is make sure you have that drive to learn. You have to make sure you want to learn, and you're learning everything you can from everyone you can. Mark Cuban said it best. He looked at every single job as an opportunity to get paid to learn. And that's honestly the way you should definitely go about your employment. Definitely. I have learned something from every single job I've ever had. Not all of them have been occupation related per se, but I've definitely taken something from every single job and I pulled it back in and I've carried it with me to this day. Some jobs I learned how to talk to people. Some jobs I learned how to associate myself with the right people and what people I should stay away from. There's something you can learn at every job, regardless of how much you hate it or how much you say no value can come out of it. I guarantee you, if you dig deep enough, then you can find something. And if you ask me about any of my jobs, I can tell you something I learned from each and every job that stuck with me to this day today. And if you are that person that's taking that initiative, taking the different principles, taking the different methods, and actually applying it to your work, hopefully, the management team is going to see that and they're going to feel a lot more comfortable giving you a raise or a promotion or either of those. Because guys, honestly, if you're not taking that initiative, if you're not putting forth that effort, it's going to be really hard to move up. It really is. But let me tell you guys, if you go in with that mindset that you are getting paid to learn, you're going to be surprised at how much better your job is and how much you can learn. So here's what I want you to do, all right? You watching this video, I don't care how much you hate your job. The next time you go in, I want you to go in with a smile on your face and I want you to say, I'm excited to be here today because I am getting paid to learn today, okay? Let me know in the comments how that works out. I really want to hear how it works out because I'm really excited for you guys to try this, okay? So definitely let me know in the comments, all right? And the last pathway you can take to become a millionaire, and this is very important, guys, is through investing, okay? Through investing. Now, I can't tell you how to invest your money because everyone's gonna have a different strategy. Some people wanna buy value stocks, some people wanna buy index funds, some people wanna buy growth stocks, some people wanna buy dividend stocks. Everyone's gonna have a different strategy. Some people might wanna buy real estate. But if you aren't investing, guys, and you aren't trying their best to get your investments down, it's gonna be really, really hard to reach that millionaire status. It really, really is. So let's take two people, right? We have Jim and John. Each gets paid twice a month. Each takes $200 out of their check, okay? So that's $400 a month. The only difference is one's gonna save that $400 a month and the other one's gonna invest that $400 a month in an S&P 500 fund. So Jim's the one that takes the $400 out of his check every month and just saves it, okay? So Jim's gonna do that for 40 years. After 40 years, Jim's gonna have around $200,000, $192,000, which is a pretty solid chunk of change, right? After 40 years, that's not bad for a lot of you watching this video. I'm sure you would like to have $200,000. Now let's say John does the same thing, but as we just said, he's gonna put that money in an S&P 500 index fund. And for the first example, we're just gonna say he averages an 8% return, okay? If John follows these exact steps, he takes $400 out a month and he invests that in an S&P 500 fund with an 8% return, guess how much? Pause the video, guess how much John would have? Guess. John would have a total with all compound interest calculated 1.3 million, and that's on the lower end. Now, let's say John averages a 10% return. John's total amount, again, pause the video, guess what John's total amount would be with a 10% return if he follows that criteria. His total amount would be $2.3 million. So you see, guys, investing is not an option if you want to achieve optimum wealth. It's really not. It's a necessity. Guys, it's a necessity. Whether you're investing in a business, individual stocks, value stocks, real estate, whatever it is, if you're not investing, you're gonna be really far behind and it's gonna be really hard for you for the rest of your life. If you do the easy things, your life's gonna be hard. If you do the hard things, your life's gonna be easy. And I really hope you guys realize that after watching this video today. But as always, make sure you're doing your own research and your own due diligence because I'm just a random guy talking to a camera in my room. So you guys need to make sure you're doing your own research and picking your own investments. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. Let me know down in the comments how you plan on becoming a millionaire or how you became a millionaire. And I will see you guys in the next video.